Basket weaving has been around since the beginning of time. Man has always had stuff to carry around. The oldest basket that ever has been found is 10,000 years old. It was found in the Judean desert. Very sophisticated weave. It's just incredible to me how the old ways are, and yet they're new. You can use them today and not only recreate that, but use those techniques to make something completely different. I'm Joan Betzold, and I'm a historic splint weaver and basket reseeder. I always say that I don't make Miss Kitty Foo-Foo baskets. I don't make baskets that just sit on a shelf and look pretty. My baskets have jobs, and they're gonna work, and they're gonna do stuff, and they may have more than one job. They are not pretty, they are workhorses.
So this is the very first basket I'd made with Joan. It's called an onion basket. It's been hanging in my kitchen, doing its job great. It's a nice functional basket. I wasn't really interested in baskets that would just sit on a shelf and collect dust. I wanted something that was functional. I had a job to do. Hi, I'm Kenneth Thelen. I am officially Joan Betzold's basket apprentice, and I'm a retired electrical engineer. Been looking for something to kind of keep me busy, and I like doing things with my hands. One day I just stumbled across this ad for a basketry class. I took that class and it really scratched an itch. So I was happy with that and decided I wanted to pursue learning how to make more baskets. That in place.
You got three behinds here. Behind.
Okay.
Did you do that on purpose to see if I would catch it?
It's a quiz, yeah.
Yeah, it's a quiz. Well, I think I passed. You should know how to do this because you've been working for a while and you're doing a good job.
Okay, so.
It's really a privilege to be passing on basket weaving techniques that people have used for literally thousands of years. It's just amazing. This is a shaker cheese basket. It is six-sided weaving. The Shakers were absolutely unbelievable weavers. They did fancy baskets which they sold to the public, and they did baskets that they made for themselves. They believe that utility is the primary function of everything, and simplicity is elegance. You could basket weave every day for the rest of your life, and you wouldn't know everything about basket weaving because there's always a different technique, a different texture, a different basket.
Do an under.
Where's the under gonna go?
Under this one. I get halfway around and I screw up.
All right, well, we're gonna get you all the way around. Basket weaving is not something you're born with, it is a skill you acquire. I know that if I can get them past a certain point, they're gonna be really good weavers. They all get there. It's that first little oddball one. And now what do you do?
Then I go under.
Okay, I think you got it.
I enjoy going to the classes with Joan and helping to teach students because Joan's classes, it's about 6 hours long, and she structures them with the types of baskets that the students can complete in that 6 hours. You have a great time, you learn an interesting skill, and you go home with a functional product at the end of the day based on traditional construction techniques.
Suddenly they're doing things and they're making things that are useful. And people are really proud when they go to church or they go to the farmer's market and somebody says, "Where did you get that beautiful basket?" And they go, "I made it."
Ever since man's been around, there's been baskets because you need to carry stuff
Okay,
around.
this is the one you want?
And she's got two.
Oh, he wants two. Three. Well, there is a tradition that puts something in it.
It's a functional thing, a work tool, something to get you through the day, carry your stuff in. I like bringing that tradition forward.
I'm really into doing reproductions of 18th century stuff. They didn't have Tupperware, and they had to make do with what they had. This is part of the fiber of who we are as human beings and Americans. Very, very important to me that these things don't get lost. I have people who have done 30, 40, 50 baskets with me, and they're really good at it. And I'm hoping that they will pass that along in their family to their grandchildren. And I think that's the only way that this is going to survive, is that I just keep teaching and hoping that there'll be people out there that will continue it with their children, their grandchildren, their neighbors, whatever. The reality is many of these baskets will last longer than I do. I often wonder, is this the basket that's going to last for 10,000 years, like the one that they found in the Judean desert? What's going to happen? I have no idea what happens to my baskets. They just go out there. A piece of me that I loved doing is maybe going to survive way into the future and be a treasure.